This is the 2025 Range Rover Autobiography long wheelbase. Is it worth every penny? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Land Rover of Shreveport to give you the particulars on this requested video. If you want to know more, check out the link in the description of the video to the Land Rover of Shreveport website. Let's dig in and see what you can expect to find. Classic look here on the front end as far as the overall design goes. The Range Rover logo right here on the hood. Also our classic look with the grille and the Land Rover logo down there in the corner. Full LED lighting, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. You'll also find the LED fog lights right down here. Now I don't have those on right now, but they are here. And this model will come all-wheel drive, no big surprises there. But one thing that is going to be a little different, the standard wheel size is going to be 21 inches. In this case, we're looking at 23 inches. And how about our overall tire size? 285 will be your width, the 40 series sidewall. And like I say, wrapped around those 23-inch wheels in case anybody wants to say in the comments that they are 21 inches. They're not. Autobiography logo right there. Just something that sets things apart a little bit. Now with your mirrors, there's a lot going on here. We're gonna have the turn signal indicators built in. Gloss black mirror caps that match quite well. They're heated, they're power adjustable, and they are also power folding. You can see your blind spot information system right there. I have the engine running right now so I can show you some of the things I don't normally show during this part of the video. Dual shark fin antennas up top, and our rear roof spoiler. You'll see our clean look with the rear window because you don't see the exposed rear window wiper. That doesn't mean it isn't here, it's just up in this area. And we'll finish things off with the LED tail lights. A very clean look here on the rear. And here is your remote. There are no changes not only with the remote, but with the vehicle overall for 2025. But for those of you who want to see all of this, and maybe you're looking for the first time, I'll go ahead and show everything to you. We have the deployable door handles right here, and you'll notice that the side view mirror is folded in. So we'll do two things at the same time. We'll deploy those door handles and we'll show the power folding side view mirror. Close that all back up so you can see it in action. Now, besides a nice clean look, the reason that these handles actually are flush with the body when you lock the vehicle, that's going to help out with aerodynamics. Just one of those little treatments that Land Rover offers to help add value. And if you want power, there's definitely more than enough here. This is the 4.4 liter turbocharged 8-cylinder engine. I released the cover so I can show you what's underneath, in case you're curious to see. 523 horsepower, definitely no slouch. 553 pounds-feet of torque, and all of that's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And because I know somebody is going to ask if I don't show it, let's talk about it at least, the MPGs. 16 city, 22 highway, 18 combined, and 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And one thing I like to do in my videos that you don't get in every single video is tell you how much gas it will hold. This is a 23.8 gallon gas tank. It does not have capless fuel fill. It has more of what seems to be an old school thing, which is a gas cap, but I really prefer that over capless fuel fill. What do you prefer? And for that person who wants to know if I snapped the cover back down, yes, I did. Everything is back down in place before I close the hood. And one more thing with these doors that I wanted to tell you about, I should have mentioned earlier, with all the other features and functionality I told you about, they're also soft close doors. If you're not familiar with what that is, well, you just saw it. You don't have to slam the door shut, you just barely close it. And when you don't close it all the way, the door takes over and closes it by itself. You can tow up to 8,200 pounds if you want to do so, and you're also riding on air ride suspension, so there are advantages to that as far as changing the ride height. We have our split tailgate back here. We can open this top portion if we want to. We can also open this bottom portion. that works as a seat. It can also help when loading and unloading cargo, just to have that extra space right there. But you also have the lights right here. This helps us to be the ultimate tailgating vehicle in a lot of ways. And let's show a little bit of what goes on here with the controls. So right here is how we raise the rear of the vehicle. I don't know if you can see that actually going up, but I'll show you what that looks like. I'm gonna raise the back all the way up. So depending on your situation, you may need to raise the rear suspension all the way up, or you might need to drop it all the way to make it easier to load or unload cargo. And I'll go ahead and drop this. Let's see if we can get that to work for us. Hold that button down there. There we go. It doesn't take as long as you might expect, but I'm going to go ahead and lower that all the way down just so you can see how that looks when it's in both positions. So there we go. That's now all the way down. Depends on your situation, on your needs, or what you need to do as far as that goes. Now, we also have our cover right here for your cargo cover. That is removable, by the way, which would be very helpful. You can see that it's snagged on the seat belt right there, where it shows us that this is a 3-row SUV. Have your cargo lighting back here to help out, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. A little bit of space right here. You have the net to keep things in place. And you can control the positioning of the seat backs on the 3rd row and the 2nd row. I'm gonna go ahead and push each button right here. Notice I only pushed those buttons once. I didn't have to hold them down, basically just one touch, which is really nice. Makes things easy to maximize cargo capacity. I'll go ahead and bring those back up right here just so you can see. And again, I'm not doing anything. There are other vehicles out there that don't necessarily compete with the Range Rover, but they are large, high-dollar SUVs where bringing the seats back up, you actually have to hold the buttons down or pull them back and keep them in that position until the seats are all the way up. For those who want to see how everything looks maximized and with the cargo area empty, well, here's what we have. And I'll go ahead and raise the 3rd row of seats. Now, here's something that's really good. The 3rd row is heated. The 2nd row is heated and ventilated. I really wish they would heat and ventilate the 3rd row back here, but heated only, but that's what you have. And when it comes to closing this area, I'm just going to go ahead and do this for demonstration purposes. Yes, everything does close. It's synchronized to work just right. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here for our interior. I'll put those seats back up in just a second. Plenty of room here with the armrest. Very comfortable. I like the fact that it's very large and it is completely flat. That's always nice to have. And you'll have a very large door bin right here with the silver surround. That just seems to fit perfectly. Gonna have the wood trim right here, nice and sturdy. Some of the speakers that we have here with the vehicle are gonna be in the door panel right here. You can see it is the Meridian sound system. And let's talk about getting these seats out of the way so your passengers can gain access to the 3rd row. We're going to use the controls right here to move those back and forth. So I'm going to hold that button down right there, and then I'm going to let go of it. And notice I let go of it. Nothing going on with that. I don't have to push that down and hold it down. You can see that the seat gets up and out of the way. And let's take a look at what your 3rd row passengers will find. Air conditioning vents here, that's nice and convenient. I like to have them located here in the roof area, the roof line, but right here is not too bad because it's still very close to the passenger's face where it's most likely to be directed. So that's a good thing. And you'll see that there is a cup holder right here, a little bit of space for, well, whatever will basically fit right there. This is a 7-seater, by the way. Here's how the 3rd row turns their heated seats on and off. And there is a USB port right there. And we'll flip over to this side just to show you, because I know if I don't, somebody's going to ask. We have the same things, all the same controls and everything right here on this side as well. And here's a nice feature. If the middle row passengers forget about the 3rd row passengers, all they have to do is hold this button down right here, and this answers a couple of different things that I know some will ask about. Number one, yes, you can get those seats up and out of the way, no problem, but also the fact that you can gain access to the 3rd row from either the driver or passenger sides, no big deal. And you can also see the difference in leg room right there. I'm going to bring that seat back and just show you what's here. Now, for me to get out, I'm going to push this button right here. Let's push the right button, the correct button, and get that up and out of the way. No big deal. And once again, you'll notice that I don't have to hold that button down. And there is the panoramic sunroof. That is the power shade that can be drawn forward if it starts to get too hot in here, and that front portion will open. And a very nice feature here for rear seat passengers or maybe middle row passengers, the screens right here. We're going to have one on each side on the back of each seat, so nice to have that feature and functionality there for entertainment purposes. Quite a bit going on here as far as this model goes. We'll also have the power shades that are controlled from the door right here. So depending on what you need to do, you can use either feature right there. So we can make that go up or down. We'll take care of that real quick right here. That makes things nice and easy. And all you do is exactly what you saw me do right there. Just select right there what you need to do. And it makes things nice and simple. You can even control the shade that I told you about earlier. There it is in action. Makes things nice and simple. And as far as controlling the functionality of the third and fourth zone of the fourth zone climate control that this Range Rover has, here's how we do it. We can control fan speed by pulling back. If we push forward again, we go back to our air conditioning, and then we push forward one more time, we can turn on either the heated, which we definitely don't need today, but we do need the ventilated seats. That's nice to have. And you have all the other functionality here that you would expect. Also, some USB connectivity. We'll take a quick look. Also, a 12-volt power outlet right there. There's your USB ports and another outlet, power outlet right there. Quite a bit going on back here. A lot of storage as well. We have our rear seat pockets right there. And these seats do recline, by the way. In fact, let me do this. I'll recline my side just so it's easier for you to see. That's the recline that you have built in right there. So that's nice to have. A common question that I receive from a lot of viewers. We'll also have the fold-down armrest with the storage built in right here, very much like a center console. Let's make sure that's closed all the way, and then the cup holders are concealed away until you push the button when you need to use those. For those of you who are clamoring for the price and you actually watched the video and didn't just ask in the comments what the price is, it's $180,015. I'll give you the $15 if you need it, just to kind of help you get over the hump if you come in here to Land Rover of Shreveport to buy this Range Rover Autobiography. Let's see what else you get for the price. Over here on the driver's side door, everything you're going to likely expect. The controls for your side view mirrors, all of that stuff is going to be here. Everything, including that button right there that I pushed to fold those in. That's this button right here, so we can do that just so you can see it in action. Your seat memory and your seat position controls right here. And the thing I like, you should have this at this price point, but personally I think you should have it anytime you have seat memory for the driver's seat. You should also have it over there on the passenger side, and you do in this case. Very comfortable seats, heated and ventilated, no surprises where that's concerned. Very comfortable headrest right there, and we have the upper and the lower glove boxes here. A lot of storage capacity here throughout the interior, different areas, so that's nice to have. You do have the nice large door bends right there. And we also have something that I'm not sure really needs to be here, and that is the armrests built into the seats. And the reason I say that is, number one, it makes it hard to put your seatbelt on right here, which, by the way, the seatbelts have illumination. That's what you're seeing right there. But I think that the armrest or the lid for the center console is better as an armrest than these armrests themselves. Tell me what you think about that. Everybody's going to have their different opinions on it. Someone might say, no, Tom, I really like the armrests that are built into those seats. And right here, you're going to have the multi-functioning lever. Some of you know what happens when you push it into the down and the up position like that, and some of you don't. I know because I drive around you all the time. But you do know how to use this functionality as far as turning your lights on. Here we have the lever that I can't really say anything funny or sarcastic about, but that's how you use your front and rear window wipers. Now, here's what we have with our digital instrument cluster, the driver's display, whichever you want to call that. You can customize what is on there. There's a lot going on. It's nice to know that you can have the navigation right there, so you don't have to look over to your Pivi Pro infotainment screen if you don't want to. Just makes it a little bit easier. We'll also have our shifter paddles right here, so we can work our way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. You have your cruise control, all of that's going to be here, your lane keeping assist, everything you need. You can turn all your different safety features on and off. Now, you also have a head-up display. I don't know how well my camera is picking that up, but if you need to adjust that, you can. You can go in right here. In fact, let me go back. There we go. I'm just using the arrow keys right here, or the arrows on the steering wheel right there. And we can go in and change quite a bit, as you can see right there, whether it's the left or the right side information. It just depends on what you want to do, on what we're going to change. And if you want to, you can toggle your way down here or arrow your way down and go into your head-up display settings. You can change brightness, position, and the content that is actually on there. So really nice to have. To get out of that screen, we just push the left arrow right there to do that. We can go down here to vehicle settings, and all I'm doing is arrowing my way around, and I'm pushing right here in the middle to do that, in case you're wondering, just to show you what's here. So if you need to know what's going on with tire pressure, you can do that. All your different settings here, TPMS, everything's here. Pretty easy to deal with. So depending on what you need to do and what you need to know about, that's how you do that. Just to show you some of the functionality here as far as that goes. A nice, comfortable steering wheel, by the way, that is heated. I really would like to see manufacturers such as Land Rover start adding not only the heated steering wheel function as an option, but also a ventilated steering wheel. And that might seem kind of strange to some people, but if you park your vehicle in the sun long enough, the steering wheel gets pretty warm. It'd be nice to be able to quickly cool that off. Just something that I think about. And you do have your clear sight rear view mirror, rear view camera mirror right here. If you want to use that as a conventional mirror, you can do that. Pretty easy to deal with. And you can make a lot of adjustments to brightness, position, all that good stuff's up there as well. With the upper console, we're going to have the control right here for our power shade. I showed you how that worked earlier on in the video. And to open and close the sunroof, well, there you go right there. And you can see what else is here. Pretty easy to deal with. The Pivi Pro infotainment screen, one of my favorite features, and that shimmering effect you see going across the screen is not really happening. That is purely due to my camera. So don't let that scare you off. That's not a problem. You have your built-in navigation here. You can connect your phone. You do that wirelessly, and you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Depending on what you need to know about the vehicle, well, you can go in and get a lot of different information on what's going on. You can see that I have the front wheels turned to the right. So when I turn them straight, there you go. You can see that that changed. So you can see what's going on with the vehicle in a multitude of ways. And here's one of the options for turning off or on your auto stop start. So you can see what's there. Quite a few different features. And you have not hill start assist, but hill launch assist. Just makes it sound more impressive, I guess. And we'll go in here and take a look at our modes. If you want to go and let the vehicle choose it for itself, you can use auto right there. You also have grass, gravel, and snow, mud and ruts, sand, rock crawl, wade, and configurable. You can go in and do things, configure things in a custom way if you want to, depending on what you want different things to be doing with the vehicle. So that's pretty easy to deal with, pretty easy to figure out. I don't think you even need me to tell you about this stuff, and that's how easy I think it is to learn all of this. The ride height, depending on what you're doing, you can go with access, you can go with normal, or you can go with off-road. Now, depending on the speed of the vehicle will determine what the ride height is. When it's sitting still, you can obviously change the ride height, no problem. I don't know if it's 10 or I think it's 15 miles per hour. It's going to return back to normal no matter what. But when you're off-road, you likely won't be driving when you need that off-road ride height at a higher speed than 15 miles per hour. So it should stay there, no problem. And one thing I do wish that Land Rover didn't change is the fact that you control the air conditioning right here. I'd rather have physical controls for that. Some people might say, no, I like having it in the screen. To each their own, obviously. But you will control the heated and ventilated seats here as well. And I talk about wanting the ventilated steering wheel. I also need ventilated batteries for my GoPro. That's a hint to you, GoPro. I know that's probably not going to happen. It would make the cameras bigger and more expensive. But that's why you saw the little edit right there between scenes, for those who were wondering. Before my battery died on me because it overheated, I was talking about the front seats. And one thing that I can only tell you about, but it's right here, and that's going to be our massage function. So depending on how you want that, how aggressive you want it to be, well, you can go in and change that. I like that. I'm going to leave that on. I did a back workout today at the gym before I came over here to film this video, so I like that. That works out pretty well for me. That's one thing I wish my vehicle had. And you have a few different options right here depending on what you want for the driver and the passenger. There's a lot going on here. And one of my other features that I think is great here, one of my favorites, the multiple camera views all over the vehicle. Literally every single angle that you need is going to be here. So if somebody parks too close to you and you're having a hard time getting out of your space, or maybe you park too close to somebody and you're having a hard time getting out of your space, yes, it's okay. You can laugh. I've done it too. So you can see every angle you need for any reason you need. Super simple to deal with. I really like that. That's a nice thing. And here's something interesting. When it comes to off-road, and it doesn't have to be off-road, you can actually go in here to the off-road option and see what's right in front of you. That could help out. Maybe you had a tornado or something come through your area and there's debris and you need to see what you might be getting ready to drive over and make sure you can get over it without having to get out. Well, guess what? You can do that. You can also hitch up to your trailer without anyone helping you out. A couple of different options there, not only here, but you can also see the overhead view to help you out as well. So a lot going on. There's so much going on here that I could make a full video on the screen by itself. It's simple, however. As much great technology as there is here, don't let that scare you off. That is nice to have. So right down here, we have our wireless charging pad and a USB option. The shifter is nice because it fits so well in the palm of my hand. We also have the button to start and stop the engine, and you can conceal away your cup holders. There's also space underneath the cup holders right here. So a lot of nice options to make things look neat and clean if you so desire. We do have the refrigerated console right here, and our brochure is nice and cool right now because that was actually on, but that's okay. Not going to hurt anything, but that's a nice feature to have. There's a lot going on here, that's for sure. You also have all of your parking sensors and great things like that. Beyond that, what does the audio sound like? I'm going to give you the best sampling of that I can. And here is that audio sampling I was telling you about. Hopefully, this sounds good enough for you. I don't know how well my microphone picked that up. It's the best I can do, but I know some people ask about that, and it's not something you always hear in these videos on YouTube. How about the driving experience? Well, it goes without saying that it's a very smooth ride quality, very comfortable, very enjoyable to drive, great handling characteristics. No big surprises there. Plenty of room for the driver and the passengers, especially in the first and second rows. The third row, well, maybe not quite so much, but that's just the way it goes. But at least you know you have quite a bit of space for everybody. 7-passenger capability here with this long wheelbase model. And when you're not using the third row back there for passengers, that really gives you a lot of opportunity or options for cargo capacity. So go on a nice long road trip, no problem there. And one thing I didn't mention earlier, we also have the heated windscreen here. We also have the heated washer jets. For those of you that don't live in an area such as Northwest Louisiana, like we have right here, with extremely hot conditions, it seems like more often than not, it's really warm. We seem to have a lot of extremes around here. It's either really hot or really cold. You don't have that balance very often, but I think that's the case for most people. But when you need that heated windshield, it's nice to know that it's there. That can benefit a lot of people, complementing the heated side view mirrors. And how about our turning radius? Very, very tight. And when you need it, I don't know if you can really hear the motor very well, but I'm getting up to speed quicker than it probably seems. And I don't know if the driver of this Cadillac is looking in their rear view mirror or not at me being behind them. So let's get in front of them, because they were all over the road. For my drag racing friends, I'm wondering if they were shaking the tires because they were all over the lane. Some of you will have no idea what that means, but it just basically is being sarcastic about the fact that they were moving all over the road like they were. Now, what about the seats themselves? You have that nice air ride suspension. The seats seem to be comfortable enough to complement that. Those things, two things work very well together. That's good, because sometimes you wind up with a vehicle that either has good ride quality from your shocks and suspension, but the seats are not comfortable, or it goes the other way and they just negate one another. So it's nice not to have that as an issue here or as a problem. So, technology as well. Like I said earlier, very simplistic, very easy to deal with, easy to learn for you newbies out there, in case you're somebody who's never had this kind of technology before and you're wondering about it. Well, it looks complicated, but that doesn't mean that it actually is. As I showed you earlier in the video, there is a lot going on here with the infotainment screen, but that doesn't mean that it's difficult to learn or use. And something else, there we go, nice little acceleration test to get off the line right there. For those of you who are saying, Tom, you're a drag racer, you thought you saw a Christmas tree, didn't you? No, not really. I just needed to get over into this lane and take advantage of the horsepower to do it. I did use my blinker, by the way, in case you didn't notice that. But I like everything being as balanced here as it is, with the technology and with everything that's going on. Personally, the one thing I think Land Rover needs to update in the future here would be the ambient lighting, or maybe we should say the lack thereof at this point in time. That's something that it seems at this price point should be a lot better than it is. And that's not to put Land Rover down, but when you look at some of the competitors, such as Mercedes-Benz, especially Mercedes-Benz, well, they're doing a very, very good job with their ambient lighting. Maybe we'll see that happen in the future with Land Rover. Tell me what you think about that. How important is something such as ambient lighting in your decision making when it comes to buying a vehicle like this? Okay, tell me what you think about the 2025 Range Rover Autobiography long wheelbase. Is it worth every penny? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this Range Rover for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.